You're listening to the Jazz FM and Friends Late Night Show.
Nice.
Hey, Boi-1da is such a good producer.
Oh, ridiculous.
Obviously, he done the mixtape. If you're reading this, it's
yeah.
And that's probably one of my favourite mixtapes.
Well, when we heard, because we both smoked recently, you know about Kevin Durant's new podcast.
Yeah.
Don't listen to it instead of this, but he had Noah. He's only done like 2 eps, and the second one was 40.
Oh, okay.
And crazy. Just talking about how pretty much the only other person he trusts was Boi-1da for a very, very long time.
Okay.
And he will only go to him at very, very specific times when 40 stands up and says, "Do you know what? This isn't like for me." Basically,
I need someone else's hand in this.
Yeah.
But like I say, that podcast with Kevin Durant is actually, I thought it was class.
Like, but really weird. I don't know what I was expecting, but he didn't sound like I expected him to sound.
I know, it's like...
I expected him to be quite chilled, laid back, but he was like real talkative, wasn't he?
Yeah, like I think he's quite elusive. You don't really hear much about him. Like for anyone who doesn't know, the reason why he's called 40 is because it's a nickname from 40 Days and 40 Nights, because that's how much work he was putting in the studio. And so it kind of 40's first began working with Drake as an engineer, and then it's kind of that So Far Gone mixtape. They was looking for this sound.
Admittedly, I didn't really know what they were looking for.
Yeah, they didn't. They said they was going through so many beats, and then Noah said basically it was like the last one. He was like, "Fuck, I think we found it." And then it was like from there they put their trust in each other, and then obviously now Noah doesn't work with anyone else.
Yeah, and they asked him that question, and his answer was really interesting. He was just like, "Probably one day I will do it, and there'll be a time where I feel like I need to do it, but right now, like." It's so organic what they've grown.
Yeah, well,
like,
I
over the years, they go to the studio, they know what they do.
Yeah.
And he said, like, at times you can imagine working with a new artist as a producer. It might be quite awkward. You don't know whether they'd rather write and then make you make something to the bars, or the other way around. You don't know what their style is. You might not have any chemistry at first. And he was like, "Look, I've got an easy job. Like, I'm working with."
And it's all that, but then jumping from
the
one person to another person to another person to another person.
Yeah.
You sort of ruin that flow that you got, where like you said, organic. You know what you're going to get. You know what you're working towards.
It's a recipe for success. Why would you stop?
Yeah.
It's like winning 5-0 and then suddenly like completely changing your style.
And he said he don't want to give away the sound to no one else.
Yeah.
And he also said that it's not all me. Like literally, Drake is telling me do this. He's like he is involved in producing so heavily. He goes like literally. Sometimes he'll say, "Oh, it was like Future spat." He said Rocky spat Bad Bitches. And he was like, "No, turn that into a hook. Turn that into a hook."
Yeah, that's it.
And he was like, "I didn't say any of this. It was like this was him directing me."
Yeah, he said he because he's just a mechanic. That's how he started. And then, like, a lot of the time I just do what he says.
And then he was like, most of the time. It's like I'm nothing without Drake, so don't it's like basically don't get it twisted.
Very humble, isn't it? Very humble. Obviously that's not true. That's obviously not true. He was a standalone producer just before Drake came back, but crazy.
You're listening to the Jazz FM and Friends Late Night Show, the only place for hip-hop discussion and general chit-chat.
Gezz was like, "Right, I'm going to ask you some questions on the podcast." And I was like, "What?"
The tunes you were playing was unbelievable.
For me, he's the greatest of all time for many reasons.
Can you answer this on the
this
spot?
to me? Why are you doing that to me, man?
Sorry, I've lost my cool now.